This is where the fun begins.
Hello, hello, and good morning. And this is our, I guess you could say weekly, but we did take a break, coffee chat, and I am happy to be here with you guys. And we have some, updates on collections that are coming out, and we're going to get into the comics. So, hello, Stig, how are you?
Yeah, I'm quite well. Drinking water.
Drinking water, nice. I have a cat over here deciding to play with anything that it can get its little hand or little paws on right now, so I might kick him out. But all right, I'm drinking my coffee and here, and I'm drinking in this mug here. So I hope you guys recognize where this comes from. So shout out to Raging Rhino. Thank you so much. And I'm going to get some other YouTube creators mugs to, showcase on Coffee Chat. So I think that'll be a thing of mine. My family won't be too glad that I'm collecting coffee mugs, but that's okay. Yes. So, and then how are you doing?
Well, you have to put your burger somewhere.
I don't drink burgers. Sorry to disappoint you. I don't drink burgers. And so those that are coming in and tuning in, please share with us. Slow down, Laura. What you're enjoying this morning or this afternoon. Yes. So we do have Lady Toriel here. Hello. And then right now the Snortopopus Burr. Hello to you as well. So we'll wait till some more people trickle in here. Sometimes we have a break. Sometimes it takes a while for people to realize that, oh, Coffee Chat is this morning. And I did send out a Twitter or tweet saying that we are live. So there we go. And Stig, so you, we were chatting earlier about, some favorite movies and stuff like that. And we were talking about The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you were saying that's one of your favorite movies. So what are some favorite moments in that?
Well, I saw on Twitter that it was released on this day in 1988.
Uh-huh.
So imagine if they had Blu-rays back then it would be 80 HD.
80 HD. Oh my goodness.
Well, the favorite moment is when he fires off the lamp from the blunderbuss and shaves the ass of the bear.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, Kat, you're pissing me off right now. Yeah. So I love that movie too. Like I was saying, it's one of those fun movies where you could sit back and have a good laugh and and enjoy it. So it's one of those good ones. And it looks like we have more people in the chat here. So, all right. So, Lost Jedi, hello and good morning. What's in your mug? And then Miss Martin Muses, good morning. And her classic hand wave and a rose. I really love that. And just like with Lady Toriel, she has her 4-leaf clover. Coffee here too. Awesome. And then Terminus, let's see, hail. And then this is, okay, so this is what she's enjoying. Chocolate coconut dream is in my cup. Awesome.
Well, fuck your cup then, Teresa.
That is a bit hostile. Stig is not functioning on too much sleep. He's been losing some sleep here. So if he sounds a bit
I would say it if I was wide awake too. But because you just don't do that shit with coffee. I'm a traditionalist.
In it. Yes, I could tell. And you get just very triggered about stuff. All right. So Snortopopus Poopas. RC Cola because I am not associated with Coca-Cola. Oh, okay. Let's see.
I remember RC Cola. Haven't seen it in ages though, but it was I liked it.
We still have it here in the United States. Yeah.
We don't. We have pineapple soda and pear soda and all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff, huh? And then Scott Johnson, hello. And good morning to you. And I think this is like she's laughing at you and your reaction to her flavored coffee.
She'll laugh, but there's D&D on Sunday, so that'll shut her up.
And you can't punish us for us liking our coffees the way we do.
No, I'm going to punish Nina and blame it on Teresa. I'm going to go, Teresa made this happen to you, Nina.
Nina, if you hear this, this is what's going on. Let's see. Coffee is warm tar black.
He's not entirely wrong, though.
Okay. And then Shane Nolan, hello. I'm glad I got you off of the block. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that one evening. That was crazy. That was a crazy night, but it's all good. It's all good. So you guys, we do have some comics, some epic collections that are coming out here soon. So I'm going to go ahead and share that before we get into our comic here. So let me go ahead and get the window pulled up. Window Chrome. There we go. Epic collection. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. And so if you are collecting these and you need to catch up on collecting your comics from classical Star Wars, we do have the Old Republic Volume 4 coming out July 26, 2021. So not even a couple of weeks or so away. And that includes the Old Republic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 6. And then the Old Republic the Lost Sons, all the way from 1 to 5. The Lost Tribe of the Sith. And then material from Star Wars Tales 17 and Star Wars Visionaries. So that's in that one, included in that one. So I would keep an eye out for that and add that to your collection. So, and you are getting that right, Stig? You have. That.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been buying all of them. Actually, yeah. I ordered the newspaper strips Volume 2 today. Uh-huh. Which is the only one I'm missing. Except for the Infinities or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not getting that one. Yeah, I'm not getting that one.
Yeah.
It's shit.
Yeah. You're like, no, thank you. Yeah, he's very specific about what he wants and stuff, and he doesn't want the infinity. He don't want the what if stories because they don't really tie into each other either. So there's not like a story collection really. They're just brief stories in one collection. So it makes a difference for him. If there's no storyline, then why get it? So.
Yeah, and they're not tied together either. You just get a what if version of episode 4.
Yeah.
And then you get one of 5, and episode 5 doesn't, the what if of episode 5 doesn't follow the previous one.
Yeah.
So it's 4, the 3 standalone what if stories, which is weird. It would have been cool if they just tied them together at least.
Yeah, exactly. And then August 10th, 2021, which is a couple of days before my birthday. So if anybody wants to be generous, just joking. The original Marvel Years Volume 5 is coming out. So that also includes like Star Wars 74 all the way down to 88. And then the
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Star Wars Annual 3, The Apprentice, and all those ones, Return of the Jedi, like Steve said. So there's another one to look out for and add to your collection. So
yeah, and this is the second last one because there was 107 of those comics.
Yeah.
So there's 20 left. Oh no, 19. Yeah. I do hope they add Marvel 108 though.
Oh yeah.
That's Legends. So
yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that would be good. I think that would be smart business if they did because it was purposely continued and linked to that. So, we should hopefully see that. And then there's a couple other that are coming out in 2022, which is this one right here, the Clone Wars Volume 4, May 31st, 2022. And again, this all shares what's going to be involved in that with Darth Maul, son of Dathomir, which basically that's
Filoni's shit.
Yeah, that's a retcon from the Clone Wars. So
Yeah, Darth Maul, son of retard.
and then we also have the Siege of Seleucami. So that is classical Clone Wars epic collection. The that one there. So this has a little bit of both in there. So
yeah, this is the final Clone Wars one too.
Yeah,
it ends with Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, exactly. And then a last one here, The Menace Revealed, Volume 3. And that's August 2nd, 2022. So
and this is not the last one, because that period should end with the Attack of the Clones. Comic.
Yeah.
So true. I'm thinking there's going to be at least a Volume 4 for that one.
Yeah. Well, there's so much done within the PT with comics and stuff.
Yeah.
No matter which era or what movie it surrounds.
Yeah. So. And we need to go through these two though, because we did the other stuff.
Yep, exactly. We need to continue on. And it has the Stark hyperspace, which I have mentioned in past like even in the Rebellion comics that we started, they had a little glimpse of the Stark hyperspace. They talked about it. And so history, they connect history, they connect continuity, because Star Wars in its own fantasy is, one history, continued history. Compared to now.
Rite of Passage one, I think, is Quinlan Voss and the Nayla Secura story.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay. We'll have to look into that one. Let me click on it then.
I know Jedi Quest is an Anakin thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, see, it has, that looks like Quinlan right there. Yeah, it is Rite of Passage. It's them. There you go. Awesome. So let me see who's coming into the chat, and then we'll get started here. All right. And again, share with what you are enjoying this morning as we get started here. And Soul Assassin, I remember the SWTOR website had all the comics for free to read on the site. Fun times. So there we go. And then Soul Assassin, good morning, everybody, or morning, everybody. And then let's see, Keck44 is here. Thank you for joining. You guys share and like the stream here. Get it out. We did have a break last Thursday, so just share that we are live. I shared already, but I didn't have a chance to tag anybody or anything and share otherwise on the full extent. So Jedi Lukey, good morning. OG Unstig, good morning to you. Let's see here. And Dad Man, I keep on saying Dead Man, but Dad Man Walkie, good morning. Hate to be late, but meeting this morning. Been looking forward to this. Awesome. I love hearing that. Let's see here. And so let me go ahead and pull up the comic now. So let's see here. Window. Oh, wait. It would help if I had it fully pulled up.
That's what she said.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Laura, click the right buttons here. Okay, there we go. I'm having a difficult time right now. It's just not in my favor today. All right, here we go. And this is interesting because here we have, Leia, and she's in space in a suit. She's not Mary Poppins and flying without any, or, wandering through space without any protection. So there we go. Everything's done right in this Star Wars. Let's see here. Oh, my cat, go away, go. All right, so let's see here.
Also, if you start drifting in space, you don't just stop.
Yeah.
Like Leia did in The Last Jedi. Or what's his name? The dumbass that went blind in Rebels. Kanan. Happened to him too.
Right. That's
actually
right.
Filoni did it before The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I remember someone saying that.
Yeah. Maul flushed him out the airlock, and Kanan just flew back in. So where were the YouTubers then? Where were the videos?
Yeah.
It wasn't dumb until Rian Johnson did it, but Filoni did it first.
Yeah, because Filoni can't do nothing wrong. He's George's apprentice.
Yeah, and he helped write The Last Jedi too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we go. So again, just to fresh everybody's memory. The script is by Brian Wood, pencil by Ryan Callie, ink Dan Parsons, color Gabe Altib, the lettering Michael Heisler, cover art Hugh Fleming, and designer Jimmy. So these are Presler. So these are people who are involved in these comics here. These comics came out in 2013 under Legends, so during the buyout. And they are actually fun stories. They are. I've been enjoying going through this with you guys and then on my own. So on the Star Destroyer Devastator, Rebel agent Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles have escaped from custody and are secretly making their way to the data core to place a bug in the Imperial communication system. Rebel pilot Preethi waits for them outside in her X-Wing as her air supply dwindles. Meanwhile, through his own spy, Darth Vader has learned of Skywalker and Antilles' presence aboard the ship. So, and then we have Solo and on Coruscant still, and Princess Leia is alone in her X-Wing, stops to observe the ruins of her home planet, and is contacted by Audacity, a derelict ship from the Clone Wars. So there we go. So here we are. So here's Audacity here, and we are at the wreckage of Alderaan. Here are the ruins of Alderaan, not wreckage. And she does make her way inside the Audacity. So there we go. And of course, her astromech is like, what the hell are you doing? That's what I'm guessing. And she goes, I'll be fine, T4. And, so she leaves, and she does have, her little blaster in her hand, of course, because no one knows that where she's at. Remember that, Steve? No one knows. So she goes aboard the ship without no one knowing where she's at and without even knowing the situation she's getting into. So I don't know if that's very smart on her end. Yeah. And again, I love the artwork in this. I've been just enjoying the artwork in here. And then someone says, "Friend of Alderaan, you never told me your name, my dear." And she basically says her name is Bria, which is her mom, I guess you could say, her adoptive mom. And then he basically says, Bria, after our beloved late Queen Organa. And, so he's excited to have a fellow Alderaanian. And he just knows, basically that, it's custom for young women or women to be named after the Queen Bria out of respect and, and honor and stuff like that. So she does use her mom's name. Yeah. And she basically tells him, I look to her, and they have their little conversation, and she follows him, further into the ship. And this is interesting because we know, paper and stuff to be called flimsy, right? In Star Wars, flimsies and stuff like that. And so they go into his study, basically, and look at all the bookshelves and the books and stuff. So that in Star Wars must be very, very primitive to have books, have and preserve books.
Yeah, but they could be considered artifacts.
Yeah.
That people collect, old stuff.
Yeah, very old primitive artifacts kind of deal, because because they're so technologically advanced, probably if you have, a collection of books and stuff, probably also shows your wealth.
Also, even in Star Wars, teacups are ridiculously small.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. So basically, he tells her, "Welcome to Alderaan, my dear. So what this is what I've been able to salvage." And she's like, "Salvage from the wreckage?" He goes, "No." And so he's basically, treating her as a guest. They have, their conversation. He serves her tea, and again, you're like, the teacups are small. So
and he's gotten this on the black market, though. He hasn't been picking it up from the rubble.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and he's sitting in there, on his own in the wreckage and stuff. And but we'll get into why here pretty soon. We'll learn all about this. and then he's basically saying, like he calls it that we live in the dark times, Bria. And she's like, you mean the Empire, kind of deal. So, they have their conversation. We're in the middle of the galaxy's biggest graveyard, and I'm hungry, so basically he's like, I'm going to go ahead and eat, kind of deal. And so he leaves to go get some food, and she has a chance to kind of salvage through his stuff, and then she finds images and pictures of him working for the Empire.
Yeah, and could she be using the Force?
That's what I was thinking.
By finding exactly the right book.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Force, like her intuitive or innate Force use.
Yeah, or latent. She's just using it without knowing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there he is with his Imperial officer uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like the Force is looking out for her, huh?
Yeah, and there's a Death Star. What is it, a medal or an amulet or something?
Yeah.
No, it's picture inside the book.
Yeah, but it also has a chain, like it's like a bookmark too, or something. I don't know, unless.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was trying to figure that one out. So, as like a bookmark, maybe, because how sometimes you can get bookmarks with a little bit of chain cord on it and stuff.
Yeah, but that's a thick chain, though.
Yeah. Who knows? All right. And then so she picks him up and she looks and he has a picture of him with Tarkin.
Yeah, Tarkin sporting a mustache, I think.
Looks like it. Kind of. I don't think he is. I just think it's the coloring in his upper lip area. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? And then, so basically she contacts T4 to run the names of Rogarin, through the databases and stuff. And, basically he she tells him, and make sure you check the Imperial War Criminal Database. And, she's given the commands on that. And he's like, basically, he basically tells her, Tag Rogarin was chief weapon systems engineer during the construction of the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. He's Alderaanian, and he helped build the weapon inside the Death Star. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and it's also ironic. And it's a shame Disney didn't pay attention to this.
Yeah. And who was the one that...
Because that would have been a little bit cool.
Yeah.
If they had made use of that. I mean, even if they've used it in Rogue One, had an Alderaanian build, the Death Star. Yeah.
So it's like a slap in the face too, because you're like, you put your trust in being an Imperial officer or just, engineer and stuff like that. And then the very thing that you created destroys your world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's like a friggin' sting right there. Yep. I mean, this is like one of the surprises or reveals. If you know this already, then you know this. I mean, there were so many people that worked on many aspects with inside the Death Star, even down to some very small technical stuff. So because it takes a lot of people, we know the Emperor basically wanted the best, right, for the Death Star, as to get the job done. And so he's one of them. And then he conceived of designed and built the super laser array. And he goes, I am that man. I am Rogarin. That had to sting so bad for him, and then for Leia to hear that.
Wow. Yeah. He's bringing her food too.
Yes, he is. And, he is a very, you could tell he has sorrow in him, in his demeanor in this. And of course, Leia takes her blaster and she goes, you're a war criminal. And, he basically sighs and tells her, you aren't just some random passerby, are you? So now they're like in kind of this heat of this conversation, and he still looks very, I guess you could say, mournful and relaxed in his demeanor. And
more resigned.
There we go. More resigned. Yeah. And I had heard there were rebel agents hunting men like me. And she basically says, how could you do that? And he basically tells her, I designed it, but I am not responsible for it being fired. You know, he had no idea, in a sense, that his world was going to be the target, one of the first targets. Because I think they did a test fire before, but not to destroy a world.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then, so basically, he says, I built the thing. I didn't pull the trigger, but I suppose it doesn't make a difference now, does it? You know, because she already made up her mind. So there we go. And then I see it is, the ship is preserved and everything in it. I leave it to you. It's all yours now. He goes, you aren't just named after Bria, aren't are you? And he goes, you are her daughter. And Leia's like, holy shit. But the thing is, he would know who she is, because if he's Alderaanian, he would know and have seen her grown up, right?
Yeah. It's weird that Cara Dune, who I assume knows what Princess Leia looks like, didn't recognize Luke, the guy who hangs out with Leia all the time during the rebellion.
Yes. And then after the reveal of them,
the guy who got a medal from Leia.
Exactly.
She doesn't know who that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
even if the Empire didn't know who Luke was, right? The rebels would know who blew up the Death Star.
Yeah. Because you get this like little lowly like moisture farmer that came in and did this great deed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that would take notice. Even if you didn't really know him by name, you would know him by sight.
Yeah, you would have seen pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. So it's a huge disconnect. It's a huge disconnect with Disney Star Wars, with even saying Jedi are myth, because we are just talking within a certain amount of time frame, like 19 years, like 19 plus years. You know, that's not a long time.
And Luke, they said Luke was a myth even in The Mandalorian. I'm like, it's been 5 years. That's a myth takes longer than that.
Yeah, a myth is like, you know, hundreds of years where, you know, like some people may not even know that group existed anymore. It takes a lot longer, you know, and where it comes into like where a lot of stories get construed and stuff like that. That's what myths are. Stuff starts getting construed. Yeah. You don't see them anymore.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna find a Jedi, which is Ahsoka. I'm like, oh, I thought they were a myth.
Yeah, exactly. Thought they were myth. So, you know, so she's very stunned right here. She's like, oh shit, you figured me out, kind of deal, you know. And as we said, like the last time we left off in these comics, she was going in and she basically said, no one knows I'm here, you know, basically indicating that she could put herself in, or she's putting herself in danger, and no one would know, you know, if she's caught, trapped, or killed, you know. So and then, so here we go. So basically, I am so sorry. So basically, I guess that's him telling her that. And the ship is just basically, you know, derelict in the wreckage of, or not wreckage, the ruins of Alderaan here. So
yeah, it's kind of hidden.
Exactly. Exactly. And then now we're back on Coruscant. So, and Chewie's zipping around trying to elude Bosk, I believe. Bosk is still chasing him. And so they have that going on. And he's like, what's going on? Pal, I could really use you right now. So I'm guessing that is Han to Chewie. So, and then of course he replies back, and I'm not going to make the sounds that Chewie's making. Sorry, you guys. I'm not going to be that entertaining right now.
Oh, he just says, huh.
Huh, really? I'm like being chased here by this guy.
Oh, and the Wookiees and Trandoshans hate each other because the Trandoshans used to help the Empire enslave the Wookiees.
That's right. That's right. Boom. So yeah, so we have the Trandoshan chasing the Wookiee, and this is going on in, like, even in the traffic of Coruscant. You know, so here we go. And I always thought Coruscant was a fascinating city. And I think when I do lore on the planets, I think I'll do Coruscant first, since that's always been like the capital or the hub of the galaxy right there. So stay tuned. And then now we're going back to the Star Destroyer Devastator here. And then we have Luke and Wedge, and they need to go ahead and plant that that bug in their computers to find out who's the spy. And of course, we have a mouse droid zooming by. If you guys don't recognize that,
and he's learned from Chewie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kicks him.
Now he stomps.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, and he takes it off the opposite way.
Yeah,
and so like basically Luke says we have to keep going, and so they're moving, they're making a way, but they also realize that everything is quiet. So the computer junction is up ahead. The ship schematics from the Quat drive yard were easy to get a hold of. So basically they need to get in there. He realizes that these kind of computer systems are easy to manipulate, basically. And then basically he's only you're at a Bothan, apparently. And then the plans are legit. Assume Vader didn't make any personal modifications in the stock system. So, they're talking about, they're basically getting into the system to plant that bug and stuff. So that's spyware, basically. And Luke does mention to Wedge that they should have seen someone. They realize it's very quiet, and that's not usual. So that's not common. There's always a worker. There's always traffic going on in there. And then lo and behold, bam, they start, stormtroopers come out. And so they, and Luke lights his saber. And this is like a few months after Yavin, I believe, right?
Yeah, but this is basically what it was training, with the training remotes.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like high level Jedi stuff he's doing.
No, it's not. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a few months, and we are seeing, results of his training.
Yeah.
So, and basically, Ben still has to talk to Luke, so Ben still talks to him and stuff, basically saying a Jedi allows the Force to flow through him, Luke. So basically we see Obi-Wan still, chatting with him to make sure he's connecting to the Force, make sure he's clearing his mind and he's allowing the Force to guide him.
Also, this is the first time Wedge sees Luke in action with the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at his face up here. He's like, what?
Yeah. Luke is fucking them up.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Yep. And so he gets into the computer while Luke is doing his, fucking up the stormtroopers there. And of course, he is, using his lightsaber. So once these stormtroopers, are gathered up, their bodies and stuff, and if Vader sees them, then he'll recognize that the wounds, the injury, the death strikes basically is from a lightsaber. So, but that's just how I see it. Those who use lightsabers can recognize, what the incisions are.
Anyone can tell because they've been slashed and burned.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's not common now in this day and age right here in Star Wars. So you don't see that much at all, unless it's Vader, So, and then we are back above Coruscant.
Yeah, and the thing they're on is crashing.
Exactly, they're crashing on that garbage barge thingy, and we have, of course, Boba Fett, of course, wanting to get his bounty here. So we still have that going on. Last time we see him, he was basically inside Slave One, and now he's out of it and pursuing. So,
yeah, because he had him with the ship, so he's like, it's not sporty.
Well, he wants him alive. Bosk wants him dead, and for Boba, the reward is for alive. So there's a difference there. So who depends on who gets them will depend on if they are alive or dead. But we already know what happens. But this is just another fun little chase story between the two. Chase and whatever. So he's all, that's better. He's like, what's better? And then Jabba says double the bounty. Bounties delivered whole. Drop the blaster solo. So basically he's like, I need you intact. I need you alive. I need you whole. It's double the bounty.
Which means Boba's not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Han Solo could just go, oh, well, if you're not allowed to shoot me, I can just shoot you. I don't have to put my gun down.
Yeah.
And there we have the guy that the lady they stole when they created Dr. Aphra.
Yeah. Perla. Her name is Perla. So there we have Perla. And so we have Dr. Aphra is basically a mock-off of her. So
yeah, rip-off.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And so, they are trying to elude Boba. And basically what she says is, Perla, what in the blazes, he tells her, and she goes, I don't know how to fly Golan platform, Han. But wasn't she flying it earlier?
No, they jumped on it.
Oh, okay. And then so she goes, I figured I'd crash it. Yeah. And he's like, you figured what? He's like, what the hell are you getting me into? He's like, oh shit. So, and Stig, I'm just going to say this. It seems like all the women in the comic here in this one basically either wreck something like a ship or can't fly it.
I told you so. Women can't drive.
I could drive, but I'm just saying in these comics, it's like, okay, she can't fly it, so I might as well wreck it. Okay, there we go. All right. And basically Han goes, there she is. He goes, the most beautiful girl in the galaxy.
Look at that picture, though. The goggles and the vest and all. It's Dr. Aphra.
Yeah. Just with blue hair. But, the darker you get with the blue and stuff, it can go to black. So there we go. I still haven't done a comparison, meme with the two. I'm going to have to find a really good picture of her and do a comparison meme between the two and post on Twitter. I will do that later. Okay. And then she's like, pilots, so basically Chewie comes and saves the day, but Boba Fett is also now on the Falcon. So.
And she's like asking him where the bounty hunter is instead of just looking around for herself.
Yeah. It's like, where's the bounty hunter? Well, he's behind you, dumbass.
Yeah. If you want to know where he is, just turn around, look in all directions, maybe. Maybe you'll spawn him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're jumping so quickly. It's like, I don't know where the fuck he is either, because it's like they jump so quickly. It's like, you're not going to pay attention to where that bounty hunter exactly is, So yeah, that was kind of dumb. And then now we're on the Executor. Executor. I need my glasses. But anyways, Lord Vader. So this is one of the things that I've been talking about and hinting about. So we'll get into that. So so basically, they're talking with Lord Vader and priority message to your personal channel, my Lord. And so Barasai basically is contacting him. And she's like, Lord Vader, I live to serve. I have the information you wanted. So this gets interesting. Internal security log reports the two rebel courier have been found and engaged in the lower decks of the Devastator. They are expected to be back in custody shortly. And but there is more. We previously identified one of them as Antilles. The second one has since been ID'd. I ran it through some obscure provincial databases and turned up moisture farming permit. And then he's like, and then she goes from Tatooine and then Vader says Skywalker. So he's learning who this person is, this other person, the one that destroyed the Death Star. And she goes, why, yes. How did you? He goes, irrelevant. You have new orders. Skywalker is to be detained at any and all costs. And then you, Barasai, will bring him to me. And she goes, yes, Lord Vader. So basically, he now is like realizing, okay, there's this guy, Skywalker. He's, kind of realizing, oh shit, we start seeing the reveal of Luke Skywalker to Vader. So, Yeah. Okay. And then, so basically he's like, fools. He goes, fools to put our faith in yet another one of these battle stations. What the Emperor doesn't yet realize is ultimate power in the universe is elsewhere. And I wonder what he's thinking now by thinking that. What do you think, Stig?
It's the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the Death Star is a dead thing.
Exactly. And then he could possibly be thinking, well, Skywalker now, and thinking of like another strong Force user as well. So, so there's many little, it's vague, but you could still see or imagine what he's thinking. Excuse me. And then we get to the Devastator, and we have Preeti, who is still, doing what Han did and attaching herself to the ship so they're not detected. But she is running, her oxygen supply is running low, and all this other stuff, and she's waiting. And but she's thinking about taking off, and getting back to base. So she basically sufficient life support to make it back. So she's wondering if she has sufficient life support to make it back to the fleet, but no more. So she has only that amount to make it back to the fleet. So she makes that decision. She has to get back to the fleet. So there we go. And then so she keeps trying to raise Wedge and Luke on the comm, so to let them know what's going on.
Bloody stupid, because if their comms are on, everyone around will hear it.
Right.
And that will give away their position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is something you see in horror movies too, because people keep calling people while they're hiding from the killer.
Yeah.
It's like, they're hiding and surrounded by enemies. Let's call them, see what they have to say.
Let's call them to make sure, or just to give off their location and stuff. And let's see here. All right, let's see what the chat. I know I have a super chat coming up, so I'll air that here pretty soon. Luck was the galaxy's most wanted. His image would have been everywhere. So Luke, basically what he meant. Luke, yeah. Yeah, after the revealing who he is, that's when...
No. It's supposed to be an F, not an L.
No, fuck was the galaxy's most wanted, his image. Okay. You just wanted me to read that, didn't you?
I got you to do it too.
I know you did. Damn it, Steve. Oh my God.
Wash your mouth.
All right, Soul Assassin. A farm kid from a backwater planet who destroyed the Death Star would be big news throughout both the Rebellion and the Empire, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
And he's bringing hope and boosting morale, so they want him dead. They want to snuff off the candle, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then they'd use Luke as recruitment tool for the Rebellion. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. And then Darth Vader would, and this is the Snorted Poopus, Darth Vader would have certainly been aware of him even before he found out who Luke was. So because he sensed him in the Force, even though he doesn't have a direct name. And,
not even that. It's just from what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. From what he did. That too. The galaxy mind wipe Disney's way. Yep. And then stealing other ideas is all a rage nowadays at Disney. Correct. And then Orange Hat Review. Hello, how are you doing? How are you doing? Let me go ahead and do something real quick here. Show. Okay. Let's see here. Go back to the comments. And then Snail Messiah. Hello. Yay, I'm catching a live stream. Haven't had a lot of stream time lately, so I'm happy I get home and here you two are. Awesome. I'm glad you are joining us. And we are just reviewing these comics, which are tons of fun. A lot of lore going on in there and connections, to what's going on in the world at that time, or the galaxy at that time. Snail Messiah. And also you amazing people watching. Yes. You guys are all amazing. And then Sukori at, is that Euro 5? Or what is I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Congratulations to the powwow champ and her AI assistant. Okay, yeah, AI assistant. Thank you so much.
Apparently, I'm an AI now.
Yes, you're an AI. Stig the AI. Yep, let's see here. And Sneaky Stig. What'd you do, Stig? Why are you
the letter thing.
Yes, the letter thing. That's right. That's right. Yes. And so what I am showing you at the bottom here, and I will also show the book, is on June 26th at 1 p.m. My channel here, we are going to review and talk about the prequel to episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and that's Labyrinth of Evil. So I'll have a few people on the panel. It's not a big panel because then we get a chance to go through without wasting a lot. Because when you have a big panel and everybody wants to put their input, sometimes it takes longer than normal. So,
yeah, plus big panels are pretty much unwatchable because it just turns into noise.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll have a few, including Stig. I think I'm going to have Rev Kev. Teresa's not going to be able to make it on. She's got other, prior plans, which is fine, And so this is by James Lucino, and this is on June 26th at 1 p.m. So I'm excited for that. And then if you become a member of my channel on any live streams during this month, we put in to win a chance to win a copy from me of Heart of the Jedi. So I have 3 copies. 2 are going to be or 1 or 2 are going to be my personal, 1 to read, 1 to keep, and 1 I'm going to give away. So if you become a member of my channel, you'll be put into a drawing to win. And I will announce the day when I, have that drawing. I'll do one of those wheels and spin it and get a hold of you, let you know, and so I can send it to you as well. So very good book. I started reading. I put it down for the time being, but it's really good. It's really good little addition to the lore. So yes. So that's what's going on. That is what is going on. So let's see who else is in the chat. All right. And he's also Shane Nolan. Sweet. Labyrinth of Evil. Yes, it is. And I can't wait to hear Stig's review on that. We were talking about it a little bit. So I can't wait to, for him to share. Stig always has interesting takes and points out things like that could be annoying in a book or, doesn't serve a book well. And so, so that's going to be a good review. I am well, OG. Looking forward to Friday's Ahsoka versus Mara. Are you still on for tomorrow night? I haven't had a chance to get back to you. I will tweet you and let you know what's up. Okay.
Ahsoka would win. It's not even a contest.
Okay, how's that?
She was like a teenager and survived against Grievous. Mm-hmm. She was unarmed and defeated Darth Maul while he was armed. Mm-hmm. And she fought Vader to a draw. And I think she's gotten 1 injury all through the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. It's a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Darth
Maul killed through calling her a Mary Sue on Twitter. Oh
yeah, but Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon fairly easily. Mm-hmm. And then an unarmed teenager not only manhandles him, but also defeats him without a lightsaber while he's attacking her with his.
Yeah.
So, Ahsoka would win without even having a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That should be an interesting one. So I will tweet.
Well done, Filoni. Well done.
Well, yeah, and that was Ahsoka was being chatted about a little bit on Matt Wilkins' channel last night with his live stream. They were talking about comics and just about Star Wars lore in general, and they discussed about how she didn't serve, the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. She was kind of like a hindrance to their arc, and so
yeah, that's kind of like it's bad writing because they're retroactively adding a character that's supposed to be important.
Yeah.
But was never in the story to begin with. So it just makes everything else kind of wobbly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if someone releases, some middle chapters for the Lord of the Rings with an extra Hobbit, and nobody in the original work even references that Hobbit, but apparently he's there all the time. It just creates a huge problem.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because if the audience would ask, why the hell didn't that Hobbit do this and that if he was there anyway? Which is the same problems that arise with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because why didn't Ahsoka train Luke? She was there anyway. Why didn't she use the world between worlds and save Han Solo or fix everything? Go back and kidnap the guy who created the Death Star. That way, Alderaan would never be destroyed. Why wouldn't she do that? She would have saved millions. But by not doing that, she just let millions or billions die. Just by not doing anything.
Yeah.
Or she could have used it to kill Palpatine when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
That would have prevented everything.
Oh yeah.
So you get all kinds of problems like this.
Yeah, she knows who Palpatine is. She knows exactly who everything is and all that. And it's a huge problem, even with Anakin's fall, even with the dynamics in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that world between world. That one destroys Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because quite a few characters already know about it. So if you had the means to go back in time and prevent billions and billions of deaths, you'd do it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm a Jedi and I'm all for protecting life and all. So they kind of have to do it just by that. They can't just go, oh no, it was the will of the Force. Well, if it was the will of the Force, why even fight in the Clone Wars?
Exactly. Yeah. And then Soul Assassin says Ahsoka should have died during the Clone Wars. Way to fail Filoni.
Yeah. Now I see Disney still saying, oh no, George told him she should live. No, he didn't. He's never said that anywhere.
No. She disappeared after that bombing and decided no longer be a Jedi for a reason, which either she should have just disappeared completely or somehow been killed off, or even killed off in Order 66 because she was near, the clone troops or whatever. But no, he had her disappear. And you brought up a good point when we were chatting about it last night in our little meeting, Stig. You brought up this point. He brought up this point saying that Filoni knew during the time of the buyout or the potential buyout or something like that. And so he just had her vanish so he could bring her back.
Yeah. Which is basically what he's obviously been doing. He's been sucking up to Kathleen Kennedy, with his feminist speeches and all that. Why did he never do that under George Lucas?
Yeah.
And he's gotten to produce, is it 9 shows all in all? If you count the unreleased ones. So he gets to produce 9 Star Wars story products for the big screen, or for the small screen. Yet he's somehow not on her page. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy fires everyone just for disagreeing. I mean, she's fired more directors than she's hired, really.
Yeah.
So if he's disagreeing with her, as YouTubers are claiming, why isn't he fired?
Yeah.
Everyone else got fired for disagreeing with the lady, but yet he just
the story right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Legends of Brave Bard by C.T. Janes. Dark Horse may have put out some clunky stuff, but the Tales of the Jedi and the Legacy series is peak Star Wars comics in my honest opinion. I think Dark Horse is the best Star Wars comics because look what Marvel put out before Dark Horse took over.
Yeah, but these comics were released by Marvel, though.
These ones right here, I thought they were released by Dark Horse.
No, it says Marvel in the corner.
Well, that's just the publisher, but I think all of them had that on there, like the one that's currently.
Yeah, but Marvel did some too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The Shadow of Yavin. Because I could have believed it's Dark Horse.
It's the Shadow of Alderaan.
No. This is the Ruins. These are all in one comic series. No, they're Dark Horses. Dark Horse. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So yes, you are. Shame on you. No, I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shame on you, Steve. I'm gonna have to put you in the corner.
Well,
See. Yeah, it's Dark Horses for these.
It's comfortable in the corner anyway. I can lean against the wall.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, and this goes into when the buyout happened, and they didn't even tell Dark Horses that they weren't going to use them. So these are like the very last comics that they published. Dark Horse published before, before they were just casted aside and Marvel was brought back in.
Yeah,
I remember there's a little controversy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are published in 2013, so during the buyout. So just imagine, having the license to do these comics for Lucasfilm, and all of a sudden not even being told that you're not going to be used anymore and casted aside. That's crazy. So, but yeah, so there was that little controversy with that. All right, I'm going to read these few comments, and then we will get into the comic and finish up the second one here. And then George supposedly told Filoni continuity is for wimps. Total BS.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, I think George was joking around, and Filoni took it personal because he wanted to cover his mistakes, and so he's like, "Oh, we'll just adhere to authority here, fallacy, and I'll use his name to cover up my mistakes."
All you have to do is watch the bonus material on the prequel movies, and you can see how into continuity George is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because he's even talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have continuity with ships, because you get to see the Jedi fighters, which are basically early TIE fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so they just. He took him back a few steps,
Yeah, exactly. Shane Nolan, if they killed her, basically Ahsoka, and Anakin felt the council was responsible, that would have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely would have worked.
Yeah, exactly. And then Orange Hat, the bombing arc was the worst written arc I have ever seen. How could she have been responsible for a bombing when she was not even on the planet?
Yep. And
for
how come Barriss went from being a grown woman in Attack of the Clones to a 15-year-old something that's a head shorter than she was in Attack of the Clones? So she's shrinking. She ages backwards, which is a continuing problem with Filoni, because Bo-Katan is the same age as Kenobi.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni said that.
Yeah.
So she should be close to her 70s during The Mandalorian.
Yeah. He doesn't pay attention to continuity, on his end, and even with characters.
Well, he doesn't have to, because, the people watching don't even pay attention to it. They're like, oh, yeah, she looks just like she did in Rebels. That way we recognize her.
Yeah. And then Barriss Offee, she was basically a healer. So her thing was not hurt and harming people. It was healing people from hurt and harm.
Yeah.
And So that's where during the Clone Wars, that's where she spent her majority time. I'm not saying she didn't get out on the battlefield or had to defend, use her lightsaber to defend, because that's what Jedi do, right? But her initial thing is she was a healer. Her initial thing is that she, helped heal people from the battle, as and she was always, in that situation of healing in the medics and stuff like that. So
you know what? Didn't they say that you have to be a dyad to do healing now?
Yes.
So how come Kenobi managed to heal Luke then in episode 4? Because he heals him a little.
Mm-hmm.
And he heals Padme a bit too in episode 3.
Yep.
They're not dyads.
They don't know what the hell they're doing, Stig. That's all. They thought of that to make it look cool, because they said healing was never shown in the movies.
It was.
It was. I know. People don't realize, like, when, Obi-Wan over after Luke got knocked out, he scared away the Tusken Raiders. That little bit was him healing Luke to waken him up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't know. People are just... I don't know. It's like, this is the heart of Star Wars here. Everything makes sense with what we're going through with the heart of Star Wars, classical Star Wars, pre-Disney. And this is what this is about. It's going back to the good stuff, the classical stuff. All right. Legends of Brave. Just dipping in a while, lunch break. Mad love, y'all. Thank you so much for listening in on your lunch break. Thank you for spending your time on your lunch break. Brave Bird. Hi. Bard. Sorry, Bird. Dead Man Walking. I love that. And I keep on saying dead man, it's dad man, but I love that. I've never understood or accepted the continuation of Maul after he was cut in half. If he was so strong, then how could Ahsoka defeat him, especially unarmed? You've added to my questions about Maul.
Yeah, and the only explanation we got was that Maul had a lot of hatred in him. That's it. They don't explain how he could get off Naboo without medical treatment. I mean, you're cut in half. You're going to need medical treatment ASAP. Yet he was crawling around on Naboo, being not being seen by anyone. So I guess he crawls really fast. And he also fell down like a kilometer, which is actually very stupid, because if he has no problems with that, right? How come he screams when he falls off when Ahsoka defeats him in the Clone Wars? Because he's obviously afraid of heights there. What's there to be afraid of if you already survive a drop that's just as far after being cut in half?
Yeah, I don't know. It's we could try to wrap our heads around that, and
it's just contradictions everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. All right. Well, let's get into this story here. So, we are getting to realize that Vader is learning about Skywalker. And of course, we know who Vader is, right? So we are starting to get that reveal here. And so let's move forward. So here's this this cover here. Again, they just put it here. They're not responsible for the story series and having the license during the time. But because they published it in the Epic Collection, now they put their label up there, which I think is disingenuous. I think they should still use original publisher on there, but I don't know the liabilities it may create. I don't know, but here we go. So in disguise and in danger. So we have Luke in front and we have Antilles in the back here, and they're making their way to escape. So, and again, here we go. The same old little story clip here and all that. So, and then, so now we're at the Devastator. And basically, we are way past Rendezvous. Preeti should have left by now. And so this is Wedge and Luke talking with each other right there. And I'm guessing inside the ship. Because
they're inside the ship.
Yeah, because I don't think they're on the outside of the ship just yet, or in, in some fighters to escape. And then Wedge kind of questions it. He's like, but would she? What do you mean? Skywalker says, it's not a secret, you and her. So they're talking about their like little relationship thing that they have going on. she'll have followed her orders, Wedge. No need to worry. And he goes, no, don't misunderstand. I envy you two. So he gets into reality of like what it is to be in the squadrons and your lifespan go down significantly because you're fighting, And he's all basically says, Mon Mothma, go ahead.
He's seen her cleavage too.
Okay. Because I envy you with, because I see her cleavage. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen her cleavage and I envy you, but all I can get is chicken.
Oh my God. This is way before that relationship, but that's hilarious. Okay. Mon Mothma may have her own opinions on fraternizing within the ranks, but with all due respect, Mon Mothma doesn't fly combat. So he's getting into another reveal of two as well. So we'll get up to that. It's the stats are pretty sobering. You fly combat, your life expectancy drops and fast in this war. Most of us can expect to live maybe 6 weeks. And then there are battles like Yavin, where you lose everyone, So, they're having that reality, and we've seen them come, think about like what had happened at Yavin, because this is so close to Yavin. And so they're still mourning and thinking of the consequences of their fighting. And you really regret not making a connection when you had the chance. And then, Luke does question Wedge, was there someone? And he goes, yeah, there was. And not a shift goes by without my thinking about her. So there we go. And we're not talking about the chicken either, Stieg.
Oh, it's part of his backstory, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It's part of a backstory.
You get to see in the X-Wing comics.
Yeah, exactly. And it says, can you raise Preethi on the Inscripted channel? And so they're talking about that. And then basically...
interesting enough, when I read the backstory for Wedge, he has the exact same starting point as Ezra in Rebels.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Go ahead and explain that.
He's stealing fruit at the marketplace on a planet that looks identical to Lothal from Rebels, and he's running away from an Imperial officer and some stormtroopers who spots him stealing. Oh, wow. And then they totally redo Wedge's arc and gave it to Ezra. Yeah. All he does is edit stuff. He reads a comic and takes from it and just changes it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's like almost 10 episodes of the Clone Wars, which are and Rebels, which are based on movies. There's one based on Jaws. There's a double one based on King Kong. Yeah. And he's done what is it, the Magnificent Seven? He's done that one twice. Mm-hmm. Wow. Train the village to fight the bandits. Yeah. He did that in both Clone Wars and Rebels. Yeah, that's right. Both Clone Wars and Mandalorian. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, he's just rehashing it. Yeah. It's easy so he doesn't have to think. He doesn't have to put any effort. So rehashing. No. Yeah. Yeah. All he has to do is put member berries in it and people will cheer. Yeah, exactly. All right. So with this little conversation, we get a reveal. So basically they're talking about Preethi and he tells Luke, she won't let you down. She's Rogue Squadron. And Luke's like, what? So it's interesting. You mean Red Squadron? No, Rogue. Antilles says, just a name I've been kicking around. I know Leia Organa's gotten us by stealth, but we can't be stealth forever. And I want the Alliance to retire Red designation in memory. So why not Rogue? So we're seeing the birth of Rogue Squadron right here. The concept, the idea between the two. Yeah, it wasn't Jyn Erso who did it. No, it wasn't because of Jyn Erso and their call signal, Rogue One. It wasn't because of that. And we are rebels. Rogue One didn't even fly an X-Wing. No, they didn't. Basically he says we are rebels after all. I like it, Luke says, and I know Biggs would approve. And then this is what's interesting. What
Wedge has to say about Biggs. Biggs would probably have my job if he were alive. He was 10 times the pilot I am. So
that's probably him being modest, but Biggs was way better than people think, though. Well, we only get to see him fly around a bit and then get shot, right?
Yeah.
So
we never got to see like how well of a pilot, other than them flying together, him and Luke flying together in Beggar's Canyon.
Yeah.
So we have that. So I thought that was really interesting. We do get to see, like the birth concept of Rogue Squadron between the two. And we know that Luke and Wedge in the original classical Star Wars created the squadron together. And then Luke then became the commander. And then when he decided to get in more into his training, he, gave it all to Wedge. So there we go. And so here we go. So now they're positioning themselves to escape here. And, they're in, it's interesting how they have the TIE fighters and all that, propped up, on these, inside to take off, so these ladders and what have you. So they're in there getting ready to take off. And then Wedge tells, I think that's Wedge. He says, remind me to tell you about someone I used to know, Mala Tenero, once all of this is over. So basically, they're having the conversation. They're getting ready to flee and leave. So yeah. And then again, I like the art in here. I really, really adore the art in here. I love how you could see the light at the end of the tunnel basically is where they have to fly out of, and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. And then they're at the Rebel fleet, home one. We have an incoming. So they notice a pilot's coming in and an incoming. And they also know that this person came in from, where the Empire's fleet is and stuff like that. So they prepare for the person to land. So, and we find out it's Preethi. So Preethi makes it back to home one. So there we go. But did you see, look how they're armed, because they're not sure if this is a rebel, if this is a spy or not. So they have, people positioned to shoot if need be, kind of deal. So because, we know that they're on the edge of their seats because they know there's a spy that's been leaking their, their information and stuff like that. So of course they're going to take precautions as well. And I'm not going to read through all that. If you have the comics, you can. So they realize it's the X-Wing, stealth X-Wing, and they go in there and they help her out. And basically she has failed life support. Her body is cold to the touch. So she's barely hanging on, because of her life support running low. So there we go. And I don't recall why it's running low, other than that. Is it because that she was gone?
She was running out of oxygen.
Yeah, I know. So there's only so much supply that they can have, right, within the X-Wing, correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so of course they get her out, and she tries to talk to her. She is our commander, and then passes out, and they carry her away. Yeah. So here we go. And again, she's from the planet where was it Deepa Baloba's from? So so just a little recap on that. Let's see here. And then the sky's over Coruscant. So we know that Han and Perla and Chewie, they're all, now safe inside the Falcon, but we do see Boba still hanging on to dear life. Of course, he ignites his jetpacks. Basically, Han's like, we need to get out of atmosphere, because he can't. His suit's not going to help sustain him in atmosphere. It's not pressurized, and so they go out of atmosphere, and so Boba Fett has to, basically ignite his jetpack.
Oh, so the Mandalorian armor isn't airtight, is it?
Not his.
Also something Filoni missed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, because there's no air supply thing on it.
No. Mm-mm. And so he doesn't have the proper suit and all that to go into space. And so Han knows that. So he takes off, and he has to basically, activate his jets so he can go back down into safety. So, and basically he's like, you can run and hide, but I will, but I will still pursue you and find you and turn you in. Basically, that's Boba Fett. So here we go. And then, so they start making their jump into hyperspace. And then she's like, well, hold up. I have the coordinates to take you somewhere safe. And I'm losing my voice. God damn it. And there we go. And she's like, basically, you aren't the only smuggler in the galaxy, Solo. So basically, she has coordinates that she has them punch in so they can go to a safe space. And then we now get back to the ruins of Alderaan in the Audacity, which is basically a Clone Wars ship, as you can tell, rightfully so. And so basically he says, I am so sorry to Leia, and she's all armed, ready to, get revenge or whatever, or protect herself or whatever she feels that she's in danger from. But, he did reveal in the last comic that he is the one that, helped design, part of the Death Star, basically. And, but you could tell by his expression that he is not happy with himself whatsoever. That has to be some tough thing to get through. Design the very weapon that destroys your homeworld.
Or maybe he's bluffing.
Who knows? But, he looks very sincere here. Who knows? And she's like, those words ring hollow. I realize just as I recognize that my apologies are inconsequential. There we go. Inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, as is my life. We are all victims of the Emperor's aggression, its brutality, and we all share the sadness left in its wake. And then she goes, some of us more than others. And he goes, true. So this is really crazy. This is like heartbreaking in a sense, which is why being surrounded by all of this hurts so much, and why I'll die in this floating graveyard. And then she goes, by your hand. Or when it's, so basically if she shoots him, he doesn't care. But he also says, or when the rocks batter the ship to pieces, either way. So basically he's like, he's blaming himself, and he's willing just to die in the graveyard of Alderaan too. So that's crazy. That has to be like some crazy shit to deal with. Justice will be done, but while you weigh your options, my dear Princess Leia Organa, finish your tea. And she's like, huh? I think I'll just leave. And he goes, everything else she says, everything else would be a waste of my time, as well as the blaster, the blaster's energy. And so she decides to leave, and she's in tears. So, and she tells T4 nothing's wrong. Activate the homing beacon I left aboard the Audacity. So she did leave a homing beacon in there. And then she takes off. And she says, when we get back to the fleet, I'll have Mon Mothma notify Survivors Fund to collect the Audacity and the Galactic War Crimes Tribunal to pick up Rogarin. So basically, she's going to have him arrested. And she's going to take that because it has a lot of like archives and stuff from Alderaan. And she's like, let's go home. So what do you think about that, Stieg?
Yeah, it's a good... Well, I think that storyline continues later on, though. Yeah,
it does. So there you go. And then we're back at Endor, the executor. Forgive the intrusion, Lord Vader, but I have the information you've requested. So basically, Vera Sai, did some more information to find out who the person's real name is, even though, we already seen Vader say Skywalker. She says, Luke Skywalker of Tatooine, born some 19 years ago by the Galactic Standard calendar, parents unknown. He was adopted by Owen Lars and Beru Whitesun, both native to that planet. The date the dates are somewhat imprecise. There are no official imperial birth or adoption records. Of course, we know why. So I have to rely on local information such as permits, pilot licenses, credit accounts, and medical records. He is an impoverished moisture farmer, my lord, quite unremarkable in all respect. How he came to be loose on this ship. And then basically Vader says, it interrupts her, he's not unremarkable, Barasai. So, and then he goes, she goes, my lord, the other Wedge Antilles is far more of a proven anti-imperial agent. The Skywalker is barely out of his youth. And basically Vader counters with, he is a threat and a force beyond your comprehension. So, and so I was like, wow, so he's getting the whole information about who that pilot was, Luke Skywalker, which has the same surname as him, was born 19 odd years ago. So he's piecing all this together. And she's like,
then you have the moisture farm itself too.
Exactly. And, Beru and Uncle Owens as well. All the evidence in front of him. And then, she's like, but I'm not being clear. And she's like, no, not quite clear, my lord. He goes, by all means, send stormtroopers to put a bolt through Antilles' forehead and be done with him. But Skywalker, if it takes half the ship's resources, you will locate and detain that man. I am trusting no one else with this. Do not fail me. You know what those words mean. If you fail me, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he looks out and he contemplates, like this is like a pivotal moment for Vader. He finds out the truth. He's finding the truth of everything. And then, probably Anakin is stirring inside of him, that pure side of him, Anakin. Because that was the whole premise of him turning, was to, protect his wife and save her in childbirth, right? He cared about his family. He worried about his family and stuff. And bam, now he's realizing that his kid was born. So it's deep. And then the Devastator. We're coming out of Lightspeed Commander. Let me see it. So basically now the Devastator has followed Preethi, and they're coming out of Lightspeed, and you could see the fleet right here. And they also talk about how how the ships are like antique vessels and what have you. So because we know the rebellion has a collection of ships, because they don't have the means like the Empire does, so they have this odd ecliptic collection of ships and fighters and all that stuff. So they pursued Preethi. And basically they talk about launching all the squadrons and stuff like that. And he even talks about him piloting himself, like he's going to get out there and be in the action as well. And they question him, but he's like, hey, I am an Imperial pilot. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and he's been actually kicking ass quite a bit in the previous comics.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to put himself as the commander or what have you. He's going to put himself out there as well. And then so basically they're still, Luke and them are still and Wedge are still inside the ship here, and they realize that they came out of Lightspeed. And they're getting ready to fly out. And they come, basically, the ship had followed Preethi, and they're in there. So basically, they get to be able to help the Home One defend themselves as well. So we have that. And, Wedge is like, remember basically what I've taught you, and that's in the previous one or whatever. And he says, welcome to the Imperial Navy, Luke, kind of like a little smirk there or whatever. And, was it in Wedge's backstory? He didn't go into the Imperial Navy, right? I know that he, the reason why he got into the Rebel Alliance is that from his family being killed and stuff. So, but I don't remember if he was.
Yeah, well, he was a smuggler for a while.
Yeah, he was a smuggler because Booster Tarek is the one that raised him after he lost his parents. But in Disney Star Wars, he went into the Imperial Navy.
Oh, he starts off in the Navy. He's a TIE fighter pilot.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then so we're at the end of the story here, I believe. Yep. And this is the next one. 11 and 12, I think, are the last ones in the Ruins of Alderaan.
You know what?
So,
The reason they changed Wedge, the backstory in Rebels,
yeah.
was because Filoni had already given Ezra Wedge's backstory.
Oh my God. Yeah, very true. Because you did point that out. You did point that out. Let me see here. Dad man walking, but he has more hatred than other greater previous Sith Lords, just more questions. I talked out loud when I saw him appear in Solo. My kid had said, shush me. So I don't know what that was about. Probably have to scroll up a little bit more to figure out what they are.
It's Darth Maul. I mean,
was it Darth? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Darth Maul
That's
can survive anything just by being angry, why didn't Dooku? Dooku's floating head should be alive because he was probably angry too.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have this, hit the like button for the chicken talk from Stig.
Yep.
And then Lady Toriel with the little peeps there. And then Terminus, he must have been given stormtrooper wedgies while he was on that planet too. Wedge and wedgies. I wonder what, like when George was naming these characters, I wonder why he decided to call him Wedge. I wonder. I'll have to look that up if there's any story behind that. Let's see here. And then Soul Assassin, Mandalorian helmets have a lock on them to stay on. Filoni must have forgotten that little detail. Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't forgotten. He didn't know.
He just sees something and uses them that he doesn't look up the backstory.
Yep.
And then if he does look up the backstory, he gives it to someone else. Or another character or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the jetpacks the Mandalorians use. They control them with their minds.
Mm.
They make sharp turns and all that. The jetpacks actually just gives you a boost.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little jump thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hover a bit, but it's not like you can fly around like Superman.
Yeah.
But yet they can on,
Yeah. It's weird.
Animated shows.
All right, Soul Assassin, the guy might be in self-exile to think about his part in both the Death Star and Alderaan. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. But
you know what he's thinking?
What is he thinking?
He's thinking the Death Star was used on all the wrong places.
Good one, Stig.
Yeah, it's a blast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a blast. It is such a blast. Let's see here. Shane Nolan, like real life, Robert Oppenheimer, I am becoming death, the destroyer of worlds, on his creation of the atomic bomb. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Whoops, it jumped on me. Nice artwork. Yeah, I love it. When the comics has great artwork along with a great storyline, it just makes it such a, it just enhances the story and the journey through that comic even more. Like some people don't like Dark Empire's art or their coloring, and so sometimes that kind of puts you out of the story because you go into a comic for the visuals as well, right? And so
it's visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So you want to see, just like with movies, if the scenes are not done right. Or even you can have a beautiful made movie with, beautiful scenes like, okay, I'm just going to go there. The Last Jedi, very colorful, very nice, right? But when the storyline's not there, it's not worth a darn, really.
Nope.
And that goes with comics
Same
as well.
Same with Avatar.
Yeah.
Gorgeous special effects and all, but I just couldn't get into the story.
Yeah.
It was basically Dances with Wolves in space.
That's what people told me. I'd never watched it. I never had a inkling to want to watch it. But that's what people have told me. They're like, oh, well, Dances with Wolves. I'm like, yeah, well, and they've even said space, Dances with Wolves in space. So you're not the only one that said that to me. So I think that's kind of interesting, so that's crazy. But here the artwork, the storyline, and everything is quite it's phenomenal. I love it. I love the colors. I love how when they use contrasting colors or complementary colors to enhance the scene as well. Again, we got the reveal of Vader finding out who Skywalker is, or the pilot is, which basically is a pivotal point for him. It is. And so now he is obsessed from this point on. Now he's obsessed with finding Luke Skywalker. So, and it's such a great pivotal point for Vader or Anakin, because he's been suppressing his feelings. Anakin's feelings are his feelings, and he sees Anakin, his true self, as a weak person, right? And so now that he realizes that he has a son out there that survived all of this bullcrap that had happened, that he basically created, in a sense, now he's wanting to bring him to his side, or bring him, and join up with him and stuff like that. So we get to see this pivotal moment for him as well. Let's see here. And sometimes okay, he's talking about you, Stig, right there. You really don't need to share that, but I mean, if you want to, Stig.
Oh, you don't have to,
Yeah.
I'm not looking for followers or subs or anything like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just a fair warning, I am terrible at following back on Twitter. Takes me 6 months sometimes. So please don't take it personal. It's just that I don't look at it. I don't even know how many followers I have.
Yeah. So Dead Man Walking, yes, I realize that now about the Solo. So I thought that was Maul being shoehorned in it towards the end on the Solo movie was weird.
What would have made sense?
What?
If it was Jabba.
Yes. And I think there was rumors that he was supposed to be in there at the end, instead it was Maul.
Oh, yeah, you know what happened? Ron Howard, I think, said this in an interview, because he kind of took over the script.
Yeah.
And it didn't say who Kira was contacting. So he asked the story group, right?
Uh-huh.
And they said they didn't know.
Oh, damn.
The story group didn't know who Kira was working for.
Oh my God.
That's how good they are at their job, right? So he just looked at what villains were alive, and he, Maul was alive in Rebels at the time.
Uh-huh.
So he just put Maul in there. Basically just picked one.
Yeah, he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, it would have made sense. Okay. There is source material, right? There are things to look back at to say, okay, in George's time frame, during that time, Han was involved with Jabba. That's what got him in trouble, right?
Yeah.
That's what got him in trouble. So it would make better sense, even if they're not going to use the stories, to at least keep that continuity with the movies of why, and building up to why Solo has trouble with Jabba.
It would have set up a sequel. Plus, since it's Maul, that Solo's not going to kill him.
Yeah.
Because he gets, killed by Kenobi. Again. But
again.
If you think about it, though, the story group is there to keep continuity. That's their job. And they don't know who a major character in a new movie is working for. None of them knew. You've utterly failed at your job when something like that happens.
Yeah.
So why are they there?
Oh, and I think
it's not for continuity. It has to be something else.
No, it's not for continuity, because they even said that they don't have control of what these creators are going to do. They can't veto any of their decisions.
Yeah, but so why are they there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because it was announced that they would be in charge of continuity. That's, when they made that big thing, we have a diverse story group, blah, blah, blah. They're going to keep continuity.
Yeah.
But they're not keeping any continuity. And they never have. So what is it they're really doing? It's like they have a different job entirely.
They're keeping track of the check mark on what needs to be inserted today. It's not about continuity being kept. It's about political diversity tracking. That's how I see it. Like when we seen them making the High Republic, and we seen the billboard or the whiteboard with, their point, what to use. That's all they're doing, is that they don't care about the story.
Yeah, but it doesn't add up one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they even said it themselves, they can't veto anything story wise, right? Which means they have absolutely no power over continuity.
Yeah. And I got on like a Twitter debate with someone. I'm not going to, say who it is because I don't believe in doing that. But in this debate, they basically said that we are misunderstanding what Kennedy was saying about not having any source material. That she means that there's nothing written for a sequel trilogy. And that's what she's talking about. And I'm like, well, George had source material making his prequel movies, and that was the lore that came before and surrounds it, right?
Yeah, because Bob Iger even said it, that they had George's story treatments for the sequel trilogy. They just threw it out. So it doesn't even matter if she was talking about comics, books, or anything. Because, fine, they moved the goalpost, but, it still counts because they had the story treatments. They just threw it out.
Exactly. So no matter, like you said, no matter if they were, talking about not having books and stuff like that, or any kind of treatments or what have you, the thing is that, you're not going to have stories written about a sequel trilogy. However, the source materials that surround it, or the materials that surround it, basically is source material, because that's your world building material, right? Even though you may. Yeah, so they did have that, and they got rid of it.
Yeah,
they got rid of
also they had no source material for sequels. I mean, half of the EU takes place after Return of the Jedi. I mean, the Throne trilogy, that's a sequel trilogy right there. I've seen people argue against that too, because they're like, oh, well, we can't do a trilogy when everyone knows the ending. I'm like, The Lord of the Rings?
Right.
People had known the ending for that one for 50 years.
Right.
And look what happened when they stuck to the books. 13 Oscars.
Right. It doesn't have to be all surprising, whatever, and even, whatever. It's about bringing the events to the screen to give a visual context of what's going on in the books, right? And that's what Lord of the Rings did perfectly. We got to see the adventures. We got to see the world building. We got to see that all put on screen. We got to see the magic of it. We got, so whatever we had in our minds when we're reading it, when we got to see it on screen, we're like, oh, wow, I wasn't seeing that. Or, wow, that was an interesting concept on how they did this visual art here. And it opens up, in a way, it opens it up a little more. And there's always going to be pieces that are not necessarily put in the movies, right? Which means you go back and read the book. So there's a connection, and so people who say, well, we don't, they can't do the books, because it hinders creativity. No, it does not.
What they're doing now is doesn't have anything to do with creativity anyway, because they're just ripping off the books, taking pieces of it and making something worse. Right.
Like
so, just copying stuff isn't being creative.
Yeah.
If I take that picture, right, that's on the screen.
Yeah.
And I add Kal Katarn's ship instead of one of the TIE fighters, and remove the capital ship and replace it with I don't know, a Star Destroyer. Right? It's shit like that they're doing. They're just replacing and shifting.
Yeah. But what I laugh about, and my thing I was going to just say, is like, how can you take one of the most controversial stories, Dark Empire, where people do cringe at, the Empire coming back as a clone and stuff. There was that controversy behind that, right? In the past, right? How do you take that and then put it in your sequel trilogy and make it worse?
Yeah. At
It's
least
like
the
they're supposed
people
to
who
be
wrote the Dark Empire, they didn't have anything from the prequels to go by. They only had,
Mhm.
Return of the Jedi, and the fact that there used to be clones. That's all they knew, and it was also written as a kind of like a sequel to the Marvel comics, so it was following that, storyline.
Yeah.
It's not even canon. It's like its own thing, and it was actually
Yeah.
designed to be a one-off. It wasn't supposed to be part of the continuity at all.
Hmm. Yeah.
People seem to skip that one.
They don't. They just like they use the Infinities characters and what if stories to say, oh, the EU is so bad and it's contrived and it doesn't make sense in itself. They even use that. I'm like, do you even realize that that's just spin-off what if stories that really isn't a part of the overall continuity?
Yeah, I saw someone claim that the Ewoks cartoon was canon too, and the comics, which were it was just some stuff for kids. It was never
Yeah.
canon. I mean, they had a flying carpet, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God, all the stuff they use. And so Shane Nolan says, did anyone just see some guy's latest Tolkien video about the Tolkien Society conference and talking points?
You know what?
So,
I was on OG's, no, sorry, Jade Shadow, Mara Jade was on her channel yesterday.
Yeah.
And she and I talked about it.
Okay.
So it's on her channel, and
yeah, so go over there and check out that video.
yeah, I almost destroyed her channel or her stream.
Uh-oh.
Because Pastor G, is that his name? Pastor G?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, he did a super chat and said he couldn't watch the rest of the stream because he was going to have a bonfire with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And I just blurted out, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, heck, everyone go do that with your families because, it's awesome. Don't listen to us. Just spend time with your family. And like, oh, shit. If everyone leaves now, sorry, Maura.
What did Mother say to you? Did she tell you to shut up?
Yeah, it was just, but it's true though. I mean, if you can spend time with your family and all that, it's better than watching YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that time of year where you can do the bonfires and it's relatively mild at night and stuff like that. But yeah, so I get it. So Shane Nolan says yes, and they cited Dark Empire as a reason to be canonized the EU. Then they do a terrible remake of it, so probably decanonize it, or the EU, you mean? So
yeah, they actually said Disney said that they decanonized it. That's the word they used.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's decanonized, it would have to have been canon.
Yeah. And then Soul Assassin, the guy from Collider, made fun of Dark Empire, then cheered for the Rise of Skywalker when they used the same plot.
Yeah, no, and they.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
I think they were bashing Boba Fett surviving too. Yet they cheered when he was alive on the Mandalorian.
I know. I don't get that. They talk about Jango Fett's arc and bash that, and then finally when his arc is revealed to be similar from the EU, they're like, "Oh yay! They're honoring the EU." Yeah. I'm like, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah, they just took Jango Fett's backstory and stuffed it on the man. The main character from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys are such hypocrites. You talk shit about the EU. You use the very points that Disney brings back as being bad for the EU, and then you cheer it.
To be honest, and I'm just gonna say it, Phantom Menace YouTube channels too. They were cheering and fine with it when Kanan flew through space on Rebels. Yeah. Yet when Leia did exactly the same thing, 500 videos and bashing Rian Johnson. Yet Filoni gets a pass for doing exactly the same thing before Rian Johnson did it. And you have that thing from the Lucasfilm book now, where they have the meeting about what to do with the sequel trilogy. And Filoni was the guy who suggested nerfing Luke so they could bring the matriarchy back to Star Wars. That's it. That was what he said.
Yeah, and since when was the matriarchy a thing in Star Wars, or patriarchy in a sense?
Yeah, and I mean, if Rian Johnson had said that, there would have been 1,000 videos. But since Filoni did it, it's just okay. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
And Rian Johnson destroyed the hyperspace rules with the hyperspace ramming. Yet Filoni did it before, though, but by making everyone being able to jump into hyperspace from within the planet's gravity, which is just as lore breaking. Yet that gets a pass.
Yeah.
Sorry, just saying it as it is.
Exactly.
Shit flows both ways.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. And then I'm the one that becomes the bad guy for my compare and contrast with saying, hey, you said it was bad here, but then when Disney uses it, it's good kind of deal. So
and then you have those 5,000 videos saying, oh yeah, everyone should boycott Disney Star Wars until Kathleen Kennedy is out. With the exception of all the video games, the Clone Wars, the Mandalorian, the Bad Batch, and Episode 9. So the only thing that really got boycotted was Solo.
Yeah. 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 All right. So let's start winding down here now. And, so the more we get into this, the more we see inconsistencies and, borrowing or, taking from the EU and then turning it into something that really doesn't have any quality behind it anymore. That's how I see it.
Basically, they've chopped up a corpse and chopped up a corpse and used some pieces and glued them together like a Frankenstein thing in a lab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and close here as well. So Stig, I know that you don't care about followers or subscribers. So basically just tell us what channels you're going to be on in the next couple of weeks or next week or so.
This one and Sporking News podcast. On Mondays talking about the Game of Thrones books. Sometimes I'm on Maura's channel when she needs a co-host and if I'm awake. So it's what is it? A cringe show or something she calls it. It's on Wednesdays. So I was on there yesterday. That's pretty much it, though. It's like a random visit to a channel here and there if they need someone on or whatever. But I do far less YouTubing now than I used to, which means I get to read way more books.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, you guys. And again, you can find me here every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Then I do have a current lore video out about the Togrutas. And so that's a short little brief summary of the species there. So go ahead and enjoy that. And then I will be producing more species lore videos, which will be short and sweet and to the point. And then on the 26th, I will be here for literature review as well. And then also on the 26th, I'm on Tim's channel for The Fall of Night, which is basically a commentary about, pop culture and politics and all that. We'll discuss that, make light of it and have fun with it, and not be too serious about it. So it's not like the serious reporting. It's just making fun and jokes and being lighthearted in the discussion. And that will be on the 26th as well. And so you can catch us here. And then I am planning a Talking EU interview. I just haven't had a chance to reach out. This month is very busy, so probably not this month. So stay tuned for that as well. So you could find me here and on Twitter as well. So you guys have a great day and may the force be with you.
Have a splendid weekend.